World of Warcraft is one of the biggest games in the world, with millions of subscribers and loyal fans to boot. You'd think the game would have peaked over the 9 years since its release, but that's certainly not the case, especially with their newest expansion, Warlords of Draenor. The expansion actually takes place in the past, during the time in which the Old Horde, which are the Orcs and the Ogres, were extremely prevalent and waged war against the Draenei race. In terms of gameplay, WoD adds a brand new area to the map, introduces new enemy types and raises the level cap to the magic number of 100, and I think that's what Blizzard were aiming to get to in terms of levels. I think they said that a while ago, so I'm not too sure if this is going to be the last expansion, but I do remember them saying something about level 100 being the kind of aim for them, so it's good that they got to that. Players will also be able to build and upgrade their own garrisons, which is something that's new to WoW, and it could be interesting if it was in a kind of PvP kind of way, like you built up your garrison, people could attack it, so it's sort of like tower defense type thing. I'm not too sure what they're going to do with that yet. It wasn't talked about in the first trailer, but there's a lot of stuff that you could do that with that. Problem is though, it could feel like it's kind of attached on if they do it in a certain way, like you just add tower defense, if it is tower defense that is, but depending on what it is, depending on how they present it, it could be really good or it could be really bad. They're not going to have a middle ground. It's going to be either really good or really bad, as I say. There's going to be fresh zones, dungeons, raids, scenarios and battlegrounds, as you would imagine with kind of DLC, kind of expansions for World of Warcraft. And plus some of the existing races, such as dwarves, gnomes and orcs, will also get a kind of makeover and be upgraded to the current technology. They're going to do it for a lot of the other races, but the dwarves, gnomes and orcs are the ones they're going to be doing it with first, because they're the older ones. Humans are old as well, obviously, but I think it's just they want to do them first for whatever reason. This is probably to make up for the lack of new races in this expansion, since this takes place in the past, and is also about the Draenei Orc War and what led to the area now known as Outland. The player will also be fighting legendary heroes and villains such as Grom Hellscream, who is related to Garrosh Hellscream but is an older relative, and you'll relive some of Azeroth's earliest history and learn. It'll be good for a lot of the lore nerds basically who want to know about the history and already do know about the history. Users can upgrade one of their characters to level 90, which is a way to get new people to play the game without feeling like they don't belong, without feeling like they have to get to level 90. They can start at level 90 and have this kind of quick transition into the new DLC and play that first if that's what they're trying to play. So that's probably a good way to do it, and it might be OP if they allow everybody to have 90s on every character, but what they're doing is that it's one character per account that can be level 90, kind of boosted to it. Challenges and quests will also be present, as the story is another kind of key feature of the DLCs and WoW, and especially this DLC, because a lot of people care about what created the Outlands. They care about the kind of fights between the Orcs and the Draenei, and it should be pretty damn interesting. It's also the first DLC to take part in the past, and it should be interesting seeing how they do that, because you could read and know what happens, like, because it's set in the past obviously, so it'll be interesting to see how they present that, and it'll be interesting to see if there's a Horde kind of viewpoint and a Alliance viewpoint. But yeah, it's kind of controversial from what I've seen in the DLC. A lot of people don't really like it, but I think that's because it's only the first trailer. But yeah, I think it looks good, and I think the story should be pretty damn good as well. That's all.